What's going on, everyone? Anthony here with HG Toys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are reviewing the Hasbro PulseCon exclusive Power Rangers Lightning Collection Boom Studios Omega Rangers. Wow, that was a mouthful. So if you guys were kind of like me and just kind of dissatisfied by the reasoning the showrunners gave us for Zach, Trini, and Jason leaving the show for a peace conference, how long can a peace conference actually last, right? Why do they have to transfer the powers completely? Anyways, if you guys are dissatisfied like me, Boom Studio has you guys covered. In the expanded story, it turns out that Jason, Trini, and Zach did not leave for a conference. They left on a secret mission to go into outer space to help the Blue Emissary with something. And that they were given new powers, new forms, new suits, yada, yada, yada. If you guys are familiar with the comic books, you know the deal. If not, I'm not going to spoil it for you here. I do highly recommend you go out and get a copy, give it a read, or listen to some comic book channels like Comic Storians and Comic Book Explained and all that. They do great readings of the comic book, so you don't have to. But anyways, I'm getting way too far off point. Here we have the box art for the Omega Rangers. Very, very nice box art. I do like this a lot. That is the one thing I do like about the plastic-free packaging is the art design. But, you know, this is basically one of the last few figures we're going to receive for a while until they come back from hiatus. On the side over here, you have the head sculpts or the head portraits of the Omega Rangers. Boom Studios right there at the top. You have the red, yellow, black, and blue Ranger. Jason, Trini, Zach, and Kira, I believe is her name. I completely forgot. It's been a while since I read it, but you have those there. You have the 3D renderings of the figures on the back. You have a size comparison scale according to the box. The yellow Ranger is 5.7 inches tall. Same thing with the blue Ranger. The red and black Rangers are 6.1 inches tall. It also shows all the accessories they come with. It's basically just their weapons, their lightning effects, and 2 extra fists. So not a lot in terms of different style hands. They basically all just come with weapon holding hands on them out of factory and an extra set of fists for each side. So really, really basic as far as a exclusive go. Normally you would get a lot of accessories for these exclusive figures. That's mainly all you really get nowadays. Like even the packaging is pretty standard packaging for this. You don't even get some kind of cool display or anything, you know, like you did with Draken Evo 3. So anyways, Hasbro is really, really cutting costs on these. Honestly, I don't think this was probably originally planned as a Hasbro PulseCon exclusive. It was probably planned as some other exclusive or maybe even just regular retail release. I don't know. But here we have it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and crack this guy open and hope everything's inside. All right, and here we have the figures out of packaging. Right off the bat, there aren't too many major paint flaws. There is kind of one thing I do want to talk about when I get into the details of the figures, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at their accessories. So starting with the Red Rangers, he comes with his sword. Looks like a katana style sword, nothing too fancy looking. Really, really basic in terms of a weapon. You basically just have the blade itself, a red handle with some bronze and black accents going across, and then he comes with the lightning effect that we've seen many, many times before. You just kind of weave it in and out of the blade to give it that lightning effect. Not really a huge fan of this one. Definitely my least favorite effect of this group. But yeah, set that to the side. He comes with his weapon holding hands on him out of factory, and then an extra set of fisted hands, one with the morpher sculpted on and one without, obviously. So yeah, there you go. Then for the, let's go with Yellow Ranger, you have the 2 extra fisted hands, like so. Weapon holding hands on her out of factory. And then Trini comes with this awesome hammer right here. The bronze is not, well, it's kind of goldish, bronze gold hammer right there. This is probably my favorite blast effect out of all of them. The box art shows it like this. I don't know why, but I do like the promo shots where it's on the ground smashing. I think this would definitely be the more preferred way of having it displayed. Not sure why you would have it held like this. Maybe as a thrusting attack, but the box art just has her holding it like this. But Anyways, yeah, that's definitely my favorite blast effect out of the bunch. But as far as Black Ranger goes, he definitely has my favorite weapons out of the bunch. I do wish, since this was an exclusive, that they would have maybe, especially for the price point. I mean, obviously, it's not too bad of a price point. These figures are basically $25 each now, and that's basically what we paid for. So I can kind of forgive it in that form. But as an exclusive, I do wish they would have made this like an actual chain. Just a minor nitpick. Not too big of a deal. I know a lot of other exclusives this year, actually, like Michelangelo, his nunchucks came with a chain. But anyways, not too bad. And then obviously you saw earlier his blast effects. You just kind of like port them in there like this, and you get that whooshing effect. Not too bad. Not my favorite. Not my least favorite. Set that to the side. And then obviously his 2 weapon holding hands on him out of box. And then his 2 fisted hands on him in packaging. Then last but not least, you have the Blue Ranger. Once again, 2 weapon holding hands, 2 closed fisted hands. So as I mentioned, nothing spectacular in forms of like hand poses, but yeah, not too bad. Doesn't really bother me too much, but for those people that love to do like multiple scenes of like ACBA, this probably will kind of like hinder the style poses. And then she has her trident thing right here, which is very basic. It's just basically all blue with some white paint painted on the tip, and the gold bronzes, same color as on their suits at the very tip. Same thing at the bottom. Comes with this lightning effect. Definitely not my favorite either, but definitely still better than the sword one in my opinion, basically because it gives it like this big field of like disaster. But yeah, there you go. That is it as far as accessories. No extra head portraits, mainly because these comic book figures tend not to come with too many head portraits. Very rarely do we get a comic book figure that has a head portrait, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Rangers. So taking a look at the Rangers, as far as suit design goes, the Omega Rangers definitely have some of the best looking suit designs that I have seen in like Ranger lore. And I really hope that one day we can see a live action version of these suits. Highly unlikely. It does seem like they plan on going their own. Sorry. It does seem like they're planning on going their own route as far as like costume design goes, based off Comic Fury or Cosmic Fury. But I do hope we eventually see this in live action somehow, in some form, some way of official canon. But yeah. So the one gripe I was talking about earlier in terms of like I wish they wouldn't have done is that on the box art itself, or not the box art, but on the box, the gold on the figures themselves is a very nice, bright, shiny gold, right? But then when you get the figures out of the box, I don't know if this is just mine or not, but I'm pretty sure this is just how it is. It's more of a like bronzish color, and I don't know, like I feel like the gold would have been much better in terms. I do get that some comic panels kind of bring it off as bronze. It could just be bronze in general, and my eyes are just really bad, but I think the gold would have been much better. Once again, minor nitpick, because across the board, this figure is phenomenal. Mine does not have very many flaws at all. There's a few bits right here where like they didn't fully cover it in the bronze, so some of the red is still seeping through, but not too big of a deal. I've seen some people where like they've had some scuffs on the helmets. Mine seem to be pretty good overall. Not too bad. No scuffs, no overspray. Really nice suit design. And then you have Zach, which is basically just the same one as red, but more black. Everything that was red on Jason is now black on Zach, as you could tell, with the stripes on. I don't even know if you would call this a shield, but yeah. Really great figures in my opinion. So set those to the side. Then we're going to look at the female body molds, which is the updated one with the pinless elbows and pinless knees. So there you have the yellow and blue, looking really good. So there is just a tiny paint mishap right there, but nothing too bad. It's barely even noticeable. You can't even see it on camera probably. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about. But overall, not too bad. Really nice. None of mine have like super loose joints. The red or the Black Ranger does have like some loose ankles, which may be troublesome later on while trying to keep him standing. But overall, not too bad. I really love the shoulder pad designs. They are a separate piece technically. They're more built into the shoulders than they are the actual torso. But they do still kind of limit the range of motion, which is kind of surprising to me on how like you can like make something separate, but still at the same time, it still hinders the movement of the figures. Yeah, overall, not too bad though. As far as a set goes for a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, once again, this thing was like $100. And as you guys know, nowadays with figures being like $25 to $30 each, this is basically, you know, regular retail, not even exclusive pricing, because normally exclusive pricings is through the roof because of all the extra accessories you get, all the fancy packaging that you would get. But yeah, overall, guys, I definitely love this set. I don't know if it's still available on Pulse as of right now. This was just a Pulse exclusive here in the US and I believe the UK. I'm not sure about other countries. I could be wrong completely. But in the US for sure, it was a Hasbro PulseCon exclusive. I do see some people on the forums thinking, oh, they'll just wait for the sale whenever it goes to GameStop. For whatever reason, they thought this was going to GameStop. Maybe in Canada, because Canada seems to sometimes get PulseCon exclusives in their stores in GameStop, but I haven't seen that in a while, actually. So I don't know. Just know that if you guys, for whatever reason, were waiting for GameStop for this and the Master Morpher, I saw that a lot, that they were going to wait for the Master Morpher to go on sale. But as of right now, as of the recording, both of these sets were completely sold out, not even on pre-order anymore. So yeah, guys, I would highly recommend this, but you know, you really can't get it anymore except for the aftermarket until they get a restock. And I will definitely put in the comments below if they get a restock. I will definitely update my IG if they get a restock. A lot of you guys don't follow my Instagram at AHD Toys, same thing as my YouTube channel. I put way more frequent updates on there than I do YouTube. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into Articulation. So jumping into Articulation, he has all the standard Power Rangers Lightning Collection articulation, obviously hindered just a bit by the shoulder pads, but he does have full range in the head, up, down, side to side. Neck does rotate if you need it to rotate for whatever reason, but it's there. Shoulders only go up that high because of the shoulder pads. I can't tell if... like, it's basically built into the butterfly joint, so you don't get any range of motion. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that this does not have a butterfly joint. So I guess in a way he has it, but it's not useful because of the shoulder pad. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, wrist rotation, upper torso, lower ab crunch that is really stiff on mine. Go back about that far. Drop down hips. We'll do the splits about this far. Put them back up. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed pinless knees. Boot cuff. And Hasbro ankle rockers. Forwards, backwards, side to side. Peg holes at the bottom. So there you guys go. The articulation is standard across the board now with the new female body mold matching the Power Ranger or the male body mold. There is no discrepancy between the two. It's just a smaller buck versus a bigger buck. So yeah, guys, I would do a size comparison, but as you can see, this is basically how it is. So let's go ahead and just do some head sculpt swapping. Okay, so as far as the original three goes, Jason, Zach, and Trini, I went ahead and used the Color Swap 2-pack head sculpts for this. I figured, you know, since they're one of the very few Boom Studio comic head sculpts we got, they'll go great with these Rangers, and they do actually go really, really good with these Rangers. As far as Zach goes, I had an extra head sculpt portrait that I had lying around. So I just went ahead and used that, and that works actually really, really well too. As far as the Blue Ranger goes, I do not have a head sculpt that will match how she looks in the comics, so I'm not even going to bother trying to find one. Maybe I'll order and commission a custom one, but yeah. If you guys were looking for a head sculpt portrait, I definitely recommend these two, especially since GameStop, well, they had the buy one, get or two free deal going on. And the Color Swap 2-pack goes on GameStop on sale very, very oftenly. So It's not too bad. And if you guys were wondering, here it is next to the color swap figures themselves. The female Red Ranger Trini and the male Yellow Ranger Jason, which is where I got the 2 head sculpts from. That actually ended up working out pretty well in my opinion, and this is definitely how I will be displaying them from now on in my shelf. So yeah, let's move on to final thoughts. So moving on to final thoughts, are they a grab or are they a pass? As I mentioned, I definitely do recommend these figures, but unfortunately, as of right now, they are sold out on Hasbro Pulse. Hopefully they do get restocked soon after maybe orders get canceled or they find more stock somewhere. I definitely recommend these, especially if you like the Boom Studio Comics run. I know a lot of people were saying that they weren't really interested in these because they didn't read the comics or it's not canon. It's just the Power Ranger fandom is a really fickle group. I do love these figures very much. Definitely some of the best figures we gotten this year in terms of like quality and overall design. That's not saying much, seeing as how the last wave we got for this year only had 3 figures instead of 4, the standard for Power Rangers Lightning Collection, and it did seem like we didn't get as many waves as we normally do per year. But yeah, if you guys can get your hands on these, I definitely do not recommend paying these scalper prices going on right now. I think I saw one on eBay going for like $300, which is crazy. But it is what it is. We may never see these figures again, depending on how this hiatus goes. So definitely keep an eye out on Hasbro Pulse. So until next time, guys, later.